Hello, friends. I've been wanting to do this reading for a while now. I tried to start it the other day, the one about the angels for the kids that are down there at the border in those horrible conditions. And I tried to do it, and it just wasn't right, and something told me this is not the right time. Just keep moving on, and it will come to you. And so now I understand why I needed to wait another day or so. Because all the news that's breaking, what I'm seeing from everybody else, not only at the channel, but even at other channels and just in the dialogue, and it's so palpable how destroyed and gut-wrenching and horrified we are collectively as we find out what's going on and how to solve this problem. And I realized before we do the reading of, an angel reading and blessings for those kids, we need a blessing onto ourselves to pick us up to be able to offer help, because when you're trying to help others, you can't come from a place of being defeated and have something to offer because you have nothing. You're just giving more energy of lack and depression. And people who are in the situation that they're in, and remember, they said in my reading, be a star. And to be a star, you have to be full of hope and be uplifted. And so that's where I'm going to start, is I'm just going to try to ask for some upliftment for us as we go and make offerings for those kids. So the other thing, looking at this third quarter moon, so today, that third quarter moon, I mean, what a bad day for Donald. But as this week goes on, tomorrow, Wednesday, the moon is now going to move into the 11th house of hopes, wishes, dreams, friendships. We are going to be consumed about what's going on with the kids. We're glad that we have the Muller's going to testify. In this house, Donald has the Ace of Swords, so he's going to be out there ready to slice and dice with mental energy and just his words and his ideas. He's going to be ready to go, and he's going to be on his way off to is the G20 in Tokyo, which is fine. Please go to the other hemisphere. We'll be fine over here. We, the people, we have the magician, so I'm wondering what magical things we're going to create while he's away. But as the moon goes through Taurus, let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, around noon on Saturday, the moon moves into the 12th house. The 12th house is usually, the natural ruler is Pisces, ruled by Neptune. The 12th house is known as the house of undoing. It's a really isolated house. It's kind of where our blind spot is. It's the house of the subconscious, the unconscious mind, where we go like to do psychological work, get help in that regard. It also, it's the compassionate servant, but on the flip side, it also rules addictions, toxins, hidden toxins. It rules oils. Like when we have had, I don't know why this is coming up in my mind, but when we've had oil slicks in the ocean, that's a very Neptunian toxic thing in a large body of water, because Pisces rules large bodies of water. The other thing about Pisces is that it's boundless, it's limitless, it's infinite. It just keeps expanding, and it never ends. And so people in Pisces, some of them tend to be rather reserved and shy. They're not usually really extroverted. They're not comfortable being in the spotlight unless, like they're a rising Leo or they've got those other qualities. But just in generally speaking, they like to keep to themselves or a little bit more shy. Well, because there's a sense of loneliness with the 12th house, because when you have something that's so big and expansive and you don't know where the boundaries are, you kind of can feel lost and overwhelmed. This house also has to do with reflection, and it has to do with, it's very spiritual too. There's two sides to the Pisces Neptunian, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but there's two sides to it. On the one side, it can be very spiritual, it can be very compassionate, it can be very much for service and almost like being a martyr. On the other hand, it can be very victim-y. It can be prone to substance abuse, alcohol abuse, and it can be it can gaslight pretty well and be really manipulative. The 12th house is also a place of retreat and seclusion. It can have to do with like hospitals, because you have to retreat and recuperate. It's also a sign like for prisons when you're locked away. And so here we are locked away, and we've finally discovered these kids in these awful conditions, and they've been hard to find. Well, look at here. In the 12th house, we have the sign of Gemini, and it's intercepted in the 12th house, meaning it just stays there. When the moon comes into Gemini, Gemini's in the 12th house. When the moon leaves Gemini, it's still in the 12th house. So it's like a prison within a prison. On top of it, the sign Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury has to do with children. So it's like it looks like a prison of children. And there it is, isolated. The only planet in this house is Venus. Venus represents girls. Mercury, girls, children who are girls. I need to prepare you guys because I think that as this week goes on, we're going to be really horrified when it comes to this weekend of the more things that we discover, because we have Venus here lonely, isolated, jailed. I mean, just really forgotten about, squaring its ruler, Neptune. And Neptune, when it squares Venus, can be really harsh. There's not a sense of love. There's a sense of like taking advantage of people. Emotions become really, really difficult. Relationships with other, and extreme sensitivity. It's really painful. I'm just looking at this right now. Oh, associated with violent love, martyrdom, victimhood. Venus is opposite Jupiter. So you have people here. I think this represents us, we the people, in the 6th house of service, finding out what's going on, because when Jupiter touches a planet, it expands things. And here we are like, we have to help them. So even though this is an opposition, Jupiter expands this good deed. So that is going to expand, and it's going to get bigger, and it's going to get ugly, you guys. So you need to prepare yourselves for that. So that's why I realized I needed to do something on behalf of all of us that then we can minister and hand over and ask to help those babes. And as you know, I like to flip my cards over so I get a message the next time that I open the cards. And look at this. Death. In the 12th house, Donald pulled the moon. Remember, the high priestess is the tarot card for Pisces, or for the moon. The United States, we pulled death. Death. There's going to be some ugly things. And so, how am I doing for time? Oh, I'm going to pause here, and then we'll pick it up, okay? Dear Tarot, we the people, we are faced with such heartache as we think about these children who are at the border, the ones that we know about who are in just such awful conditions. And they need so much, yet we know there is so much corrupt fraud going on because each child is $800 per day that the government is paying someone on the border for, and they don't even have basic hygiene needs met. And so the pain that is down there, I know you know that the pain is down there, but as all of us want to be able to help, we are in need of some upliftment as well. And so getting to the heart of the matter, it's terrifying. We're scared. We're angry. We're tired. We're burnt out. But we know we're doing so much better than they are. You know, this should never happen here. It's just horrific. The world is watching. We need the world to help us and be hooked in with us as well. And we just need some advice and some help to lift us all up to a common goal. So, Tarot, what message do you have for us? Cut the deck. So, at the heart of the matter, you know how we're feeling, what we need. We are needing some help coming together with the world. What other messages do you have for us? And our goal, our common goal. Help us moving forward. And here we have the Queen of Swords, the law, the truth, nurturing woman. We need to use our intelligence and our resources moving forward and to listen, really listen to each other and problem solve. This Queen of Swords, let me see who she is. This is a new deck, so I do not know it like I know other things. But she, the Queen of Swords, I just had her. She is, come on. Well, education and thinking. This is Mary Wollstonecraft. She's an English writer known for vindication of the rights of women. So, interesting, we're talking about young women. We need to focus on these young girls and their rights and fight for these girls. There are some girls who are really, really, really going to need some help. They can't be looked over. They need as much support as anyone else because all these other kids are relying on them to help them out. Okay. Direct meaning helping others learn the truth. Being able to recognize and have insight about some things that are not really apparent to others. Being direct and honest and having intellectual courage. Intellectual courage and honesty. We can do that without being hysterical. Okay? And so, let's get back to here. So the angels, heart of the matter. The Hanged Man. Now, this is interesting. The Hanged Man. Okay, so this angel is the angel Cassiel, who's an angel that simply watches. Alone, he observes what happens and what doesn't happen, and never interferes or takes action. He bears witness to both good and bad, and perhaps because of this, Cassiel is known as the angel of solitude and tears. Cassiel is with us, with all of us. Cassiel's shown suspended in the air, neither flying nor falling. It's just a suspension of activity. So as we sit here and we're just like, wow, trying to take it in, Cassiel is with us in our solitude and tears. So you see in the back there's the lake, and that has to do with our emotions and our unconscious. It has kind of a reflection, so we're reflecting upon ourselves, and it asks that we see the entire scene, because look at that landscape. So we might have to postpone some things that we're doing, some of the activities we're doing. We might have to pause, and we might have to just do some of this work without judgment, okay? Because that's just going to be the best way to get through it, is without judgment. So pause and reflect. Cassiel's with us. And the second card we have, this is the worldly message. The Eight of Swords. This is how the outside world is influencing us. So with the worldly influence, as Cassiel is with us in our moments of solitude as we reflect on what's going on at the border, the worldly message influences has to do with the Eight of Swords. How in the world did we get here? Eights have to do with limitations and either moving past our limitations or staying bound. And so it does feel like we are pinned down by daggers with this administration. It feels like we're blind and we can't get to where we need to go. Cassiel's with us when we feel like this. But the truth of the matter is that we can remove that blindfold anytime and see things as they are, what's the status quo, and what we're willing to put up with or be blind to. And so as we go through that process, Cassiel is with us. Going from feeling powerless and victim-y, feeling insecure, and feeling isolated. But we're not. We're not. The world is with us with this. So we're going to be going through a change here with our identity as a nation, but we got to put that on hold. So the angelic message here for all of us is, may your blindfold be lifted so that you can see. Act with courage. Have faith that the truth will set you free. Okay, and then the third card that we have here has to do with an angelic message. This is the worldly message. This is the angelic message. The Ace of Swords. How about that? Look at this. I think, Donald has it in the 11th house. We're going to take that Ace of Swords, okay? The spiritual aspect of this card as it relates to the emotions and spiritual advice. Okay, so the angelic message that's being sent to us, spiritual, emotional. It's interesting that we're given the Ace of Swords with these two cherubs, these angels looking above. I think because this is such a horrific emotional experience, we have angels that are asking us to look up, even though we're looking down, to look up, to keep our thoughts clear, to strike when we can, when we have the opportunity with information. Cannot get caught up in the drama of social media with the emotionality of it all, because there are plenty of digital armies out there waiting to pounce and make us feel even worse or provoke us into anger or to provoke us into fighting with each other about the whole topic of immigration. Nope, nope, we're not going to do that. Not going to do that. The angelic message is, may you have clarity of vision, accept the truth, act with justice, and speak with honesty. And if you have someone rude in front of you, you don't have to speak with them. You still have that choice, okay? Take your truth where it will be heard and used. Don't waste it on time wasters, okay? And finally, the aspiration. This is the goal for us as we approach what's going on at the border, to keep in mind and move toward. The Fool. Wow. You know, in the tarot deck, the Fool is represented by the planet Uranus, because it's kind of revolutionary and new and free. The star in the tarot represents the sign of Aquarius, and those kids are asking us to be the star. The sign of Aquarius is ruled by the planet Uranus, and here comes Uranus with the goal of action. That's kind of cool. Okay, I'm just going to read this to you because I've never heard this angel before. And I apologize to any of you who are offended that I don't know this. But the Fool, the angel is, I don't know if I'm saying it correct, Afriel, Afriel, is the angel of youth and encourages us to experience new things and embrace new ideas. He buoys our enthusiasm and confidence about what's on the horizon. Those kids said, be a star and have hope. Be our hope. There's time for hope. What better angel to come in, the youthful angel, the Fool, to buoy our enthusiasm and confidence. How beautiful is that? Well, Cassiel brings us to this point too. They're both going kind of back and forth to help us out. So, pre-dawn landscape. Afriel comes to earth from heaven, arriving before the day begins. This suggests a fresh start. The landscape below shows both the natural world, sky, water, and land, and the civilized world. This conveys the idea that many experiences are in store for the Fool. Copper pail, made from a metal known for its ability to conduct energy, the pail symbolizes exuberance, God's unseen energy that Afriel carries with him as his journey begins. We're going to have God's unseen energy with us, you guys. He has a clean slate and is free to fill his pail with whatever comes his way. You guys, we got a clean slate with this as we are working with those babes. The white dove. Traditional Fool cards include a companion to the Fool character, and here is the white dove. This bird symbolizes purity, love, and peace. That's what we're coming with. Always reminding Afriel of his angelic nature. Let our angelic nature come out so we can send that to the kids with their angel blessings. So, direct meaning, the start of something new, a fresh beginning. Spontaneity, being open to new things, unencumbered and carefree. So, don't be foolish and don't be gullible and don't be impulsive. The message is taking impulsive or irrational risks, emotional risks, is unwise right now and may have terrible consequences. So, you need to, this is the message that we have from the angels. To be still as we uncover where we're going, to unbind ourselves, to be informed, to have good information, and speak the truth and have a clear mind. So may we all have these blessings upon us as we think about the children at the border, and we offer up a prayer to them with the angels. Okay, thanks, you guys. Part 2 is coming soon.